Whew. All right, let's get it cracking. Donald Trump is the bill and the part of the budget, I guess, for 2018 came out, and part of the budget proposal was this deal with food stamps, where Donald Trump wants to turn food stamps into, I guess, it's like boxes of food. Now, this is not a new thing. This is all it during wartime. They had rations on war rations, and I think what's happening today is that this society of people that's living today have no clue about the history of America. I don't like that. That's the one thing as a conservative I despise about this country, is that the educational system doesn't prepare young people to be adults. All it does is indoctrinate them. And I bring up war rations because this country is so far in debt that budget cuts cost money. Social Security is almost empty. Food stamps cost money. Medicaid costs money. Obamacare, I think they took out the mandate for Obamacare. But all that stuff costs money. Food stamps cost money. The Department of Agriculture costs money. That's why when you go to court, it costs money to go to court. You can go to court and plead not guilty and be found not guilty and still got to pay a fucking court cost. But I want to speak about the Department of Agriculture. There's food allergies that a lot of Americans suffer from. But for the most part, 40% of Americans, let me rephrase that, 40% of food stamp recipients are white. 25% of food stamp recipients are black. I think right at 19% of SNAP benefit people are Hispanic, and the list drops down to Asians and stuff like that, and other races. But for the most part, it's always known that there's more white people on welfare than black people. I mean, some odd reason the Trump supporters, they keep thinking that when you hear words like welfare queen or welfare fraud, they think that it's basically, and this is where the media and propaganda come in. People who actually support the Republicans on the Republican side is one of those twisted things where your preacher is full of shit, but since he's your preacher, you like him. As long as the other church ain't doing well and your church is doing good, you're gonna pretend that the preacher ain't shit, and the church members around you suffering ain't really doing as bad as the church members across the street. Republicans always have this odd thing where, as long as there's welfare abuse, whatever the fuck that means, that it must be black welfare abuse. Let me tell you something. I've seen at least 6 links, and I've done the research on all the links. And in other videos, future videos, I'm gonna start providing receipts and links, and I'm talking Snopes, all that shit in the description. Right now, I'm about to go to McDonald's. I'm starving my ass off, y'all. But right now, I don't really have a lot of time. I mean, I have time now, starting today actually. So the next video after this will have all the descriptions and probably annotations in the video and all that other stuff. Now that I got my audio back. But nevertheless, I get all these all these links, these news links of welfare queen. There's one white girl I think she had 17 kids, and she was getting like almost $10,000 a month of government assistance. Her and some guy. I don't know who the fuck the guy was in the photograph, but there was a dude that's in the house with her, and she got caught. And guess what? She ain't got to pay none of the money back. Go figure that. Talking about a system of justice here. So I was telling somebody who, one of my Donald Trump supporting friends on Facebook was like, yeah, thank God they drug test everybody on welfare. And the odd thing about it, when people was like, yeah, that's right, you drug test those motherfuckers, because we know they're selling food stamps for drugs. Let me tell you something. I've never met, and this is back in, I'm 42 years old. I'm old enough to remember when they had Kung Fu Theater on TV, and there was a book of food stamps. And when you had the book of food stamps, there was like $20 bill food stamps, $5 bill, and you can only buy cold food and not hot food. Some under the table stores would sneakily let you buy a hot sausage sandwich. That was like once every week they'll let you, they'll do it, because the government did send in agents to make sure that certain stores was complying. So a lot of those stores didn't want to lose that. But let me tell you something. When Dixie, Piggly Wiggly, Kroger, Walmart, basically any fucking store, those people, they really look forward to having the EBT customers come in the store, because some people need to pick what they want to eat. Unfortunately, yes, some folks may go overboard and buy cereal that costs a shitload of money, and that's their loss. If you're gonna, I know a lot of folks who do the same thing that the white folks are complaining about. I know folks who buy steak and all that shit, but they'll buy the steak, and since their money really didn't pay for it, they'll just eat some of the steak and throw the rest of the steak away. It'll be frozen. It'll go to waste, and by the 15th of the month, they completely broke. And now they got to spend regular money. And that's how I look at it. You only allotted the amount of food stamps that the government think you should have. If you gonna blow that shit on crawfish and all that shit, that's on you. But the government, the thing that the racist Trump supporters don't look at, and some black people who ain't got a brain don't look at, is that you have to look at the mechanism and the apparatus behind every move the government makes. I'm going to give you some game for a second. Hold up. Okay, let's say if the government wants to start giving out boxes of food Blue Apron style, then that means that all the friends of every rich person that you guys are jealous of or don't like gets to go under the table, under the radar, and get what they call how do you call that shit in New Orleans? They got a term called unrewarded contract, unproposed contract, meaning that you got the contract without even writing a proposal to get the contract. So meaning basically your friend, the mayor is friends with somebody who owns a chicken farm. Wink, wink. Now we're going to give out a box of food. Wink, wink. My friend who owns the chicken farm magically is ready to provide me with all the chicken I need. Then I need somebody to give me boxes to box all this food up. Wink, wink. My other rich friend owns a vegetation. He's agriculture. He's a farmer, a local farmer. Now all those people that Republicans are jealous of, Democrats are jealous of, are the same people that are friends with all the politicians that you hate. Now you understand where I'm going with this? Same with pharmaceutical companies pretending that there's no cure for cancer, there's no cure for AIDS. They need to give their friends jobs. What's the purpose of having power if you can't give your friends power also? Or what's the purpose of attaining power if you can't abuse it? Now it's starting to make sense. So I try to look at people who say stuff like, well, there's mass incarceration. Of course, there's mass incarceration. There's contractors who supply the jail with toilet paper, who supply the jail with this. Now, for the racist who was complaining about the drug testing for the food stamp recipients, 1% of everybody, I think in Florida, 1% of the food stamp recipients was found to be on drugs. But you know what? The kick in the ass was they had to find a qualified contractor, wink, wink, who could administer the drug test, wink, wink. That's a lot of money, and somebody had to pay for that guy to give all the drug tests. So once again, some pharmaceutical company connected to a politician got the job. Now it's starting to make sense. Anyway, so the whole Trump thing with the box of food stamps, that's like almost 2 years away. It won't make it because a lot of folks have food allergies, and the government does not want to be responsible for selling you some peanut butter or giving you some free food that's going to kill you. And more importantly, is the stealing of the boxes of food that can also be a problem. There's so many mechanisms, so many moving parts that you can't really. It would almost have to be like a socialist situation. Also, you have to realize something, that a lot of people want the freedom. The operative word is freedom. A lot of us want the freedom of picking food that's not genetically modified. There's GMO food everywhere, and a lot of us don't want to eat genetically modified food. And more importantly, the FDA just got rid of the country of origin labels on food, so you could be eating boxes of food that can come from coming from foreign nations or foreign countries who have a completely different set of regulations as far as how they regulate food before they feed it to you. You could be eating chicken from a farm shit, man, in the mountains of Germany some fucking way, which is not, I guess Germany ain't really that bad, but nevertheless, you don't really know what conditions those chickens are being kept under. And another thing is a video that went viral. Before I get off the air, a video that went viral a week ago. But it's probably, let me rephrase. I've just seen it for the first time. It's probably been on Facebook forever, but it finally got around to me, and it's a real video. Like, it's overseas somewhere. It look like it's in India somewhere, where they make these sun-dried tomatoes and sun-dried peppers. And while the guy was raking these peppers over some cardboard, I guess so you can, like, you've got to keep flipping the peppers over so all the sides can get dried out. Rats. I ain't think rats can even eat pepper. Pepper is hot as a motherfucker. Rats eating the fuck out them peppers. And as he was raking them up, it was rats just like spilling out of there. So, you have to be careful what you put in your stomach, man. So a lot of us want the freedom to buy the food that we want to eat. And a lot of people, a lot of folks that's on welfare, and it's the one kick in the ass that most of the racists on the Republican side of the aisle don't get, is that they get food stamps themselves, but they don't want nobody else to get food stamps. And the second kicker in the ass is that, for the most part, people who get food stamps have a job. You have to have a job to get food stamps. I never understood that. That's the one thing about propaganda that works, man. The uneducated motherfuckers really be thinking that people who get food stamps or folks who get welfare just sit on their ass all day long and do nothing. Everybody lies, people. Remember that. Everybody lies. Even I lie sometimes. But I know folks who actually get food stamps and sit on the porch and lie and say, man, I don't do shit all day long. But that's a damn lie. I know they got a job. I go to gas stations and they be like selling gas at 2 o'clock in the morning. So they may lie to you and say I don't do shit all day long just as some bragging rights shit. But them niggas got jobs. Some of them motherfuckers lie to you. Now, as far as Section 8 and people playing a system to that regard, I'm not on Section 8, so I don't really know. But as far as welfare and food stamps concerned, the Department of Agriculture is overstepping their boundaries. And at the end of the day, bro, there's too many stores that depend on EBT cards to let that even happen. Trust me, that's not going to happen. It's just Trump talking shit. Anyway, till next time, guys, I'm about to get the fuck out of here. Take care of yourself and each other.